The following video is my answer to how and why all visitors to the scam house claim they have experienced paranormal activity there. Keep in mind that all people who go to the scam house has a preconceived notion that this is real. From the moment you walk into the scam house, Kent starts foreshadowing and setting the stage to what's going to take place during this investigation. I have been there at this time many times over about a 4-month period, yet Kent still feels the need to tell me a story to convince me on just how real this paranormal activity is.
Okay, I did this test because when I go to sleep at night, remember how these ghosts would wake me up making all kinds of noises? Well, some of them still do it. So I was walking around telling the ghosts, look, who's making a bunch of noises in here tonight? I'm trying to sleep. So then I do a test. I put the spirit box on, not this one, but, the boom, whatever you call it. Yeah. And I lay down there and act like I'm going to sleep. And then I'm not saying anything. They respond back. And then I roll over, okay, I'm going to sleep now. And I roll over, I'm laying there, I go, good night. And then I go, good night, Rachel. Good night. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, yes! Those are the type of captures I love because it validates the activity. I mean, it was just as clear as day. Good night. So then when I get up to turn back on the light, when I started talking, they said, I thought you were sleeping, or I thought you were resting, or something like that. I have to look back at it. But then when I got up, they made a comment about me getting up. Aren't you sleepy, or aren't you, sleepy, or something like that. I mean, it's just they're here. They're in here. They're watching me. And they're smart. I mean, they know exactly what's going on. They knew I was going to lay down and go to sleep, and that they need to be quiet. They didn't say a word until I brought it up, and then they started talking. I'm like, okay, that's just validation right there. I mean, that's just unfreaking believable. Amazing. And every time I see stuff like that, when I view the recording, I'm like, wow, you gotta be kidding me. And what's strange is, when you're standing here in front of it, you don't hear everything they're saying. I mean, nothing. It's like, okay, those are definitely EVPs. And they're definitely carrying on the
Later this evening, this same camera catches Ken opening the door to the bedroom that he claims he did not do. To see that video, click the link above. While fixing the date and syncing up my infrared cameras, our guest showed up. It didn't take Kent more than a few minutes before he started prepping them for what they were going to see and hear during this night's investigation.
Rachel and ask Rachel questions. Now, I didn't quite catch what she said. And a lot of times, like when you're in this house, sometimes you'll hear a strange sound that made it sound like, let's say, a strange sound like that. When I'm recording, I'm like, what was that? But when I'm recording and I go back and listen, that wasn't a strange sound, that was actually a disembodied voice talking. Your ears can't pick up the frequency to understand what it's saying, but your phone or your recording device can pick up the frequency a lot better, and you can hear better what they're saying. Now, I've heard disembodied voices so loud I clearly heard exactly what they said because it's that loud. I'm not saying it'll happen. You might get touched tonight. If you do, don't act in a way of fear. If you, which I doubt you will, but if you do see an apparition, don't get startled like I first did. I mean, the first thing, you hear me cussing because it literally scared. Look, I didn't believe in ghosts over a year ago. I didn't believe in none of this.
Really?
No, I didn't. Wow. I didn't believe in this till I moved in this house. My sons are telling me, Dad, the house got ghosts in it. I'm like, oh, come on, you guys. I know
my dad doesn't believe either. I'm like, you know how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I'm excited, but you know what? So I told his dad, I'm like, you should go instead of me, and he's like, nah, you'll see nothing happens. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make you a believer someday. So.
Well, there's another thing too. You may not think anything's happening, there's times me and David's walked through and we looked at each other and I think, well, we didn't get much. We go back and do the evidence and our mouths drop.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize we got that much stuff. I mean, it totally blows your mind.
Wow.
Well,
That's cool.
But you might see like flash sparks. You might see something moving out of the corner of your eye. You might see a mist floating and you look closer. Like, what was that? And you look and there's nothing there. All right? I've seen that tonight, a few times already. So I do believe tonight's semi-active. Usually once we get the ball rolling and get this going and they know we're ready to talk to them, that's when they become more active. When we do the investigation, don't whisper back and forth like, Mom, did you hear that? Because that kind of messes up our evidence. If you do talk really loud like I do. I mean, just throw your voice out there and, Mom, did you hear that? Like that. That way,
right.
Stop
I know.
yelling at me.
Yeah. Don't really yell that loud.
Yeah.
But just talk at the normal. Now, we've done some stupid things while recording. One time, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but when we went to the haunted forest the very first time, we weren't getting anything up, so I lifted up my leg and blew a loud fart. And I go, hey, do you know what that was? Hello? Hey, do you know what that was? Just being stupid. Well, the next time we went back there is when I picked up off the spirit box, that spirit goes, I farted. And I'm like, I should have saved that recording when I did that to show people, look, this is how real this is. They remembered me there the other night doing that, goofing off, being funny. And when I heard that, and my mouth dropped, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So that spirit heard me goofing off. I mean, sometimes they do goof off. One was making fun of me because around this house, I mean, you see how big I am, and this place is cluttered. I'm constantly stubbing my toe, and I'm like, God dang, I frickin' hurt, and I stub my toe. My wife goes, what's wrong? I stubbed my toe. And I do that a lot in this house. Well, one night, they were laughing at me. I was doing a spirit box session. I was standing over there by the steps, and you hear over the spirit box session, the spirit goes, boom, ow, I stubbed my toe. I mean, he was making fun of me. So it's really strange. One time I was tired because I got a bad knee injury. It swells up and I, hurt my back and knee.
As you can tell from the previous clips, even Kent has a hard time following his own lies. Now just think about it for a minute. If them stories really happened, you would not have to think about it. You would not stumble on your words. You'd know for sure what happened.
Hardly tell that I even had that issue. I used to work for the New York Times as a news photographer / investigative reporter. Not that I did actual camera stands up. You guys can sit there on the couch. But I also did the photography, editing, and productions for the New York Times. So I also worked with law enforcement down in Florida. I did intelligence work on homicides, narcotics, stuff like that. And what I did was gathered intel for different law enforcement agencies, even Secret Service had to do a case. So, I was a part of law enforcement. It was through the Department of Homeland Security. It was a security enforcement officer. It's not a security guard. It's where I enforce the security of the public. And my job was to gather intelligence for law enforcement. So I did a lot of investigation. So that's kind of why this is weird, because doing this paranormal investigation stuff, I never dreamed. I mean, that's never even
That
crossed
must
my
have been
mind.
fun, so, all those experiences.
I've had my moments. I've been shot at. And
Oh, yeah, that's not fun.
all right, so we're recording. All right, this is Kent with Ghost of Carmel, Maine. We have 2 guest visitors that's going to do investigations with us here tonight. And your name?
Mother and 13 or 14-year-old son.
So you guys viewed my YouTube videos and you wanted to come and check the house out for yourself and see if this paranormal activity is probably real or fake, right?
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? I have an open door policy. Anybody's welcome to come by to check this paranormal activity out. And what we're going to do tonight is that we're going to do an investigation into Rachel. We're going to try to get as much information as possible with Rachel, and then right after that we're going to start looking for Rachel. These spirits claim that she's buried in the basement. Tonight we're going to gather information. This will be my last time. I'm going to try to gather as much information as I can before I actually start hunting for Rachel. So you guys came here at a good night. Paranormal activity, why are you interested in that?
I just like seeing or hearing ghosts, like people around you that were here in the past communicate. I just think it's really cool that you can speak and talk about their history.
Right. Now, have you ever done any paranormal investigations yourself?
No.
So, but you're interested in the topic.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any paranormal experiences?
One time when I was younger, my blanket was lifted off of me.
Wow. Did that scare you?
Quite a bit, yeah.
Jumped into bed with us.
Alright. Well, if you have any activity tonight, if you hear a disembodied voice, if you're touched, don't worry too much. I have never been attacked in this house. The worst that's happened to me, I think, is that I got slapped in the face at Mount Hope Cemetery. And I don't believe that was an attack. I think that the lady really wanted my attention because I didn't hear what she was trying to say, and she got my attention all right. Fell out of the tree because my hat's in the way. Do I have a red mark on my face? Right here.
Yeah, it actually looks a little red. See if I can see it with the. Yeah.
It's my phone. What the hell? So, I don't think you'll get slapped. I've seen some scary apparitions in here before, and not once have I ever been attacked. I've been cussed out. And those, when I got cussed out before, I mean, those were disembodied voices. I actually heard them calling me the F word, which I wasn't too happy about. But anyway, we're going to get started on the paranormal investigation. What we'll do first is a walkthrough through the house. We'll see if we can pick up any EVPs, disembodied voices, see if we hear any sounds, and we'll do a complete walkthrough of the house, and then we're going to do the spirit box sessions after that. You ready up for this?
After walking around the house for about 15 minutes, listening to Ken ask us if we heard about 20 different disembodied voices that none of us heard, we found ourselves upstairs investigating the bedroom.
You guys go ahead and come on in here. Let me stop this real quick. Switch over to digital. This camera picks up EVPs the best.
I was gonna say it felt wicked cold right now.
Just hit 30 right there.
Whoa, I just felt cold so all around me. Who's with me right here? What really sucks is when it gets really active and all of a sudden you hear these disembodied voices and all of a sudden there's a bunch of traffic driving by.
Yeah, and when we were standing downstairs, there was no traffic, which was nice.
Rachel? Edmund? Are you guys here? I would have swore I heard I'm here. Sounded like it came from the steps. Did you hear that?
It keeps spiking up real high.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are definitely here tonight. Oh yeah, I come over here when you stop? Seriously? Come on, touch that for me while I got the camera on it so I know that you're definitely here. Please. Higher. Grab it. All right, let me back off and see what happens. Is there any way you guys can verify to us that you're in this room so that Crystal and Tony can hear you guys? Rachel, are you here with us? Rachel, tonight's your night. Tonight, we definitely want to hear from you. Hello? Do you guys remember David?
No, but we can remember that you fought it, but not the guy that's been there 30 times in the last 2 months.
What would you like to say to Tony? Are you starting to move around? That wasn't me. I felt that something hit that.
It wasn't me, I didn't bump it either.
I literally felt something tap on that. My hand was sitting right here, but it's just sitting there, but I felt something tap that. Thank you. What about this table over here that you guys usually tap on? Can you tap on that one too? Please tell me you heard that whisper. I would have swore she said I can't. Now David will tell you when I hear this stuff, go back and it's definitely a voice. Hello? Definitely heard another voice. It sounded like it said the F word. I've been cussed out. And those, when I got cussed out before, I mean, those were disembodied voices. I actually heard them calling me the F word, which I wasn't too happy about. That spirit that keeps calling me the F word. The angry one. What's your deal? Why do you keep calling me the F word? Please tell me you heard that whisper. I would have swore she said I can't. Now David will tell you when I hear this stuff, go back and it's definitely a voice. Hello? Definitely heard another voice. It sounded like it said the F word. You know, when we do the investigation, don't whisper back and forth like, Mom, did you hear that? Because that kind of messes up our evidence. That spirit that keeps calling me the F word. The angry one. What's your deal? Why do you keep calling me the F word? Huh? Shadow Dude, are you here tonight? You obviously made another appearance here. I haven't seen you in a long time, and all of a sudden you show up again. I'm just curious about how it has anything to do with Halloween. I mean, do you just come at certain times of the year? Alright, well, we're going to start the spirit box sessions up.
Alright, so I'm going to spare you the spirit box session. I mean, it was pretty obvious throughout this video that I just showed you how he prepped his visitors, how he foreshadowed what was going to happen, how he dictated all the way through what was happening when clearly you could hear nothing. I mean, there's a couple different cameras there. You don't hear any of the things that he says he hears. And that's kind of normal because until it hits YouTube, nobody ever knows what was said. And miraculously, a night that seemed like we didn't really get much, which is obvious on their faces all the way through. They didn't seem really that impressed, except for with Kent's stories, which are, comical and entertaining. But beyond that, we didn't really see or hear anything. Yet, of course, when the video came out, it was chock full of things.